The Haunting of Hope Valley. Mr. Graham Milner was not a man easily shaken. In the rigid world of 1960s education, he was a force of discipline, stern, unyielding, and deeply respected. But even the strongest of men can encounter things that defy explanation. And for Mr. Milner, that encounter came one cold February night in Hope Valley. Hope Valley was a place of beauty. Rolling green hills, ancient stone cottages, and endless mist that clung to the land like a forgotten secret. The students were eager for adventure. Mr. Milner, however, was preoccupied. Something about their destination gnawed at the edges of his mind, though he couldn't place why. The hotel was an old Victorian manor turned into an inn, its walls heavy with history. The wooden floors groaned underfoot, and the air smelled of aged paper and damp stone. The staff greeted them politely, but something in their eyes suggested an unspoken warning. Milner studies the grand staircase, a strange unease settling in his gut. Mr. Milner was assigned room 206. The moment he stepped inside, the air changed. Thicker, colder. The room was simple, an antique wooden bed, heavy drapes over the window, and a wardrobe that smelled of mothballs. But the unsettling part? The painting above the bed, a portrait of a woman in white, her eyes dark pools of sorrow. He stared at it, heart-pounding. Why did it feel like she was watching? It was past midnight when Mr. Milner awoke. A sound, soft, deliberate, had stirred him. His breath hung in the air, misting. The room was unnaturally cold. And then he heard it. A whisper. Faint, faint, female, coming from the wardrobe. Heart-pounding, he turned his head slowly. The door of the wardrobe was slightly ajar. Then, as if summoned by his fear, she appeared. A woman, draped in a white gown, standing at the foot of his bed. Her head tilted unnaturally, her lips moving in a silent whisper. But her eyes were black voids, reflecting nothing but endless darkness. Milner's throat tightened. He wanted to move, but terror held him captive. And then she was gone. No slow fading, no lingering presence, just gone. The room returned to its deathly stillness, but the cold remained. And when Mr. Milner found the courage to move, he discovered something even worse. A single handprint, small, feminine, pressed into the frost-covered window pane. At breakfast, Mr. Milner barely touched his food. He overheard the staff whispering, "The Lady of Hope Valley, she walks again." He demanded answers, and when they told him, the truth chilled him to the bone. A woman decades ago, a tragic death, a soul never at rest, and those who saw her were never quite the same again. He never spoke of that night, but from then on he avoided mirrors after dark. He never slept with an open wardrobe, and every so often he swore he could still hear that whisper calling his name.